Hey guys, sup, Rudy here for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. I just wanted to make sure we were filming this. And this is set previews and reviews premium gold, and this is Gold Series 2014 for the TCG. Now, basically what this whole video is going to do is going to give you the whole rundown on the pack. Basically, it gives you a preview of everything inside of it, so you'll know any hidden gems or anything that may be, like value-wise, which will be in the stock market video. Prior to this, I'm trying to get both at the same day, so you have to bear with me. And it'll also basically give you an inside look at everything in this set before its full release on Friday. Now, you're going to see a lot of Yu-Gi tubers, myself included, having this pretty much earlier than Friday. Today, yesterday, or tomorrow. A lot of us get it ahead. So, we're going to actually skip these here because these are the premium pack 14 and 15, and all these windows that are currently loading are all those. So we're going to go down those because a lot of people don't know those cards, and that's fine. But reprints, these are what we're going to just quickly run down while all this loads up. Okay, so we have Obelisk the Tormentor, the Winged Dragon Raw, and Slifer. They will all be in their anime art. But it is the TCG effect, so they are playable, and they look really nice. So it's a much better reprint than its Battle Pack 2 counterpart. There's also Dark Magician Girl that makes a reprint. It goes nice with next month's Dragons of Legend. I mean, if you wanted a hollow Dark Magician Girl, even though around Christmas time we had the Yugi and Kaiba reloaded, starter decks, and that's something to take away from. Lone Fire Blossom gets a well-deserved reprint here as a gold rare too. So if you wanted that hollow you wanted that hollow Lone Fire Blossom, you don't want to pay so much money for a super, and I don't blame you. This is the best place for it. And then there's also Honest. Honest is a great reprint. And I know some people may not agree with that, but with a lot of people picking up Light Sworns, you can argue, well, they can just get common eyes. I agree with that. But the thing is, a lot of people are still going to want hollows to make the deck look nice. And, a lot of people like to juice other people. And I don't agree with that stuff. So this is a good reprint. It's an okay reprint. Effect Veller makes a long needed reprint. But from what I've seen, they're not super hard. It's super easy to pull, I mean. So if you pull it, you're definitely in the good. There's also Gaga Magician and Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, but that's more of an anime thing. Light Pulsar, Dark Flare Dragon, and Eclipse all make a reprint appearance here from the Chaos Dragon deck, which is pretty much sold out everywhere. And if you wanted to play, like, say, the Dragon Royal Lightsworn, there's a deck profile on the channel. If you need a link, I'll post it down below for you. Then you're going to need the Eclipse Whitemer. If you wanted to make Chaos Dragons, you're going to need this stuff. And Chaos Dragons are still a great deck. If you watch any of my duels, when I use them, you'll definitely see it, without question. Crane gets a nice reprint here, so you're not stuck buying that starter deck 3, 4, 6 times over trying to get a playset of Crane. And I don't think he's going to go for too much. And he comes hollow, and he hasn't had hollow. Colossal Fire gets a well-deserved reprint here because Colossal Fire, honestly, has not been printed since, I believe, one of the starter decks from like 2008. I'm not fully sure, so don't quote me on that. And then we have number 32, Shark Drake. That's more of an anime thing for the kids. It's supposed to get the kids in that. I mean, if you don't have a Shark Drake, here's a chance for you. Tiger King gets a reprint. Now, I can't really say too much about Tiger King because it's kind of hard to say, well, it'll be used in this and that deck. I don't really see it being used. It's just kind of like an reprint, so just pass on it. Not sound that way. Solar Recharge gets a well-needed reprint. Forbidden Chalice, Forbidden Lance, these are both great reprints. Don't underestimate Chalice. I know it's no effect failure, but in a deck like Blue Eyes, it really does shine, and you can even use it in another deck. You figure it out to basically say, haha, Pleiades, you can't do nothing against me. So if you can't get your hands on a breakthrough skill, you can always go with a Chalice. So if you pull it out of this and you can't get a breakthrough skill because you didn't get it yet, even though they're $5 right now for the Battle Pack 2 ones, I think it's Battle Pack 2, then, here you go. This is a great option too against that Pleiades. Forbidden Dress is an okay reprint. But it just gives another circulation to it. Fire Formation Tenki, this is one that I have to basically say Konami failed on. Because you have the special edition coming out, I believe sometime in April. I mean, I know someone's gonna say, well, there's like 50 something plus cards in the set. I understand that, but still, if you're going to promote, hey, look, Super Tenki, it's like, I'd rather get Gold Tenki. Some people prefer Super, but if I'm selling a special edition, I'm not going to reprint it twice like this. That's just me being me. And someone may argue the Solar Recharge thing with the Light Sworn, but the thing is, with the Light Sworns, is it may not be in the deck. We know Tenki's getting a super reprint, and it's already common, so this one isn't really needed. Jinzo is always a popular monster, so it's always good, and it comes from the first Gold Series. Breaker is a solid monster, not the greatest reprint, but it's a solid monster. Cyber Dragon, it'll look nice for the people who picked up the Cyber Dragon deck and still can't get their hands on hollow ones. Gotta look at it from all aspects. I don't really think this need the reprint, the Dark World Golds. I don't really agree with that one. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, great reprint. I always get a lot of people saying, do you know anyone with a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or do you know where I can get one? I'm like, I really don't know because they sell out. And I even see it at most locals, is that people are just looking for Blue Eyes Ultimate for that nostalgia factor or because they want to use it. With polymerization, more power to you. But you could just use Summoner of Illusions and it's a lot faster. And no, but still, like a lot of people look for it, so this is a good reprint to have out there. Same with the Chimera Tech Over Dragon. We got both decks that are extremely popular, so they're good reprints. Swords of Revealing Light, meh. Reinforcements Army, you ain't gonna need the one, but they always do look nice in gold. Mirror Force Torrential, great reprints as always. They're always needed, kind of thing. This was a YCS prize card at one point, and was only reprinted in I think Dark Beginning and Gold Series, so definitely a pretty good reprint for someone who's looking for one. If I pull it, I'll be happy. Ryza, definitely good reprint because Monarchs are always strong, strong choice to, just play around with. Necro Garnet, Light Sworn, I know some people don't like them. Dark Arm's always popular, and it's just a good reprint. Prime Material, meh. Caius is a great reprint. Caius is the best of all the Monarchs, honestly. Kaiser and Riser, they're like the main two Monarchs. Mind Control is an okay reprint. Gold Sark, I don't really think it was needed, but you know what? I scratch that. It could use the hollow reprint in case it does come back to 3 next week or what. Just saying. Kind of thing. Phoenix Wind Blast, great reprint. A lot of people start using it more this past format. Exploder Dragon, I do like this reprint. It's one of my favorite dragons that are not like standardly used. Judgment Dragon, great reprint. You can actually get Judgment Dragon for like $10 on eBay, but with this, it should probably drop to 5 or 7 a piece. So if you're looking to play Lightsworn, there you go. Mizuki and Plague, always great reprints. Thunder King looks amazing from this set. Stardust, I know people like hoard Stardust Dragons. This is always a good reprint. Armor Master Armwing, I guess that's okay for the people who want to play Black Wings and haven't picked up the stuff by now. And you gotta remember, Dragons of Legend will have Black Wing stuff, so this is a good reprint. Mystical Space Typhoon, always good. Icarus Attack, always good, because it goes with the Blackwing theme. And this is the one card I don't agree with, is Morphing Jar. This is the one thing I don't want to see when I open my Gold Series. I legally can't use it in a duel no more. This spot could have probably been used, and I know some people won't agree with me, with something like Dracosac, which is still in high demand, and still will be for quite some time. Or, you know what, if you don't agree with Dracosac, then how about the level 10 Synchro from, I think it's like, I think it was Legacy of the Valiant. No, not Legacy of Valiant. I want to say Judgment of the Light. It's the Leo, the giant cat. It would have made a great gold rare, or even Star Eater. Just if you wanted to put Star Eater out there more. There was like 20 other choices. Morphing Jar didn't have to be here, honestly. Anything would have been better, quite honestly. Gravekeeper Spy, it's okay. Spirit Reaper, it's always a good card. Chaos Sorcerer, Blackluster, I love them, no question. Titianel's actually really good because it's Princess deck. Celestia, not a lot of Lightsworn players even use it anymore, but it's just good for the people who want to use it. Raikou, everyone still uses it for the time being, so good reprint is always good, and it's always a good side deck card against certain decks. Summoner Monk, great reprint, especially with BLZ being in the set. You'll see BLZ soon, and Trap Sun always makes a nice reprint because it's freaking Trap Sun. This is Gimmick Puppet Dreary Joel. If you're not playing Gimmick Puppets, then she's pretty much going to be bad for you. If you're playing Gimmick Puppets, she is a instant staple at 3, so definitely if you are any little titty itty bit interested in Gimmick Puppets, definitely pick up 3 of them. Not going to be a very expensive card out of the set. Moving on, we have Gimmick Puppet Magnet Doll. Again, kind of the same thing falls into that. I'm a Gimmick Puppet, so it's not really going to matter unless you're playing Gimmick Puppets. Not to offend anyone. Chromalee, kind of the same thing. It's one of those, like, you have to be playing Chromalees to actually understand this card and want it. But, I mean, it's an okay card. I don't see the full use for it right now, so if you pull it, it's going to be cheap. Just letting you know. This is Big Belly Knight. I'm not too sure about Big Belly Knight. If this is detached exceed materials, it's a graveyard. To activate that monster's effect, special 103, lower monster for your hand. It's not a bad choice, but it looks like something from Naruto, like the one of the Akatsuki that blows himself up. But I'm not a big fan of this card, and I don't really think this is going to be used too much. So again, this is one that definitely always piques my interest because it's one of the 5D dragons, and technically dragons. And this is the manga version of said dragon, Power Tool Dragon. This is, let me get the proper name, Power Tool Mecha Dragon. And during your turn, when an equipped spell card is equipped to that, you draw a card. And you can only use the effect once per turn, but once per turn during either player's turn, you can target one face-up equipped card in the field and change it to this card. Let me tell you something hilarious about this card, and you guys would probably get a little bit of a chuckle here. If Noble Knights had a way to summon this, I would tell you to run it immediately because this thing is hilarious. The other thing is, you can actually use this against Noble Knights if you can, like, say, I don't know, have a level 4, get Gale on the board somehow, and then, make love with this thing and say, I'm going to take your equip card and stick it on my Noble Knight. So, if Noble Knights ever got popular and you're playing a Noble Knight mirror match, this guy's amazing. There's probably 20 other uses that I'm not thinking of, but this guy is pretty good. He won't be hyped. Probably looking at $5 to $10 range. He's still a great card, though. So if you pull him, he's kind of one of those. Look at that artwork. Like that artwork alone, man. I want one just for the artwork. The hell with the effect. Just the artwork. It looks so nice. This is Ancient Pixie Dragon. And for those of you who didn't know, this is the reason why Divine Wind is at 1 now. After resolving a field spell card that was activated during your turn, draw 1 card. You can only use the effect once per turn. You can target one face-up attack position monster in the field, destroy that target. There must be a face-up field card on the field to activate this. It's a dark ancient fairy dragon. Think of it that way, but the name is Ancient Pixie Dragon. This becomes very, 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 very useful with the new double field spell card rule against certain matchups, against like harpies and stuff. This will give you an out to certain things, and especially with pendulums right around the corner. And we'll have a coffee timeout about that. So it's kind of, I'm kind of pulling a page from Konami. Like both of these videos kind of overlap together, so you can understand pendulum summons and why I'm saying about pendulum summons, and get a full definition and understanding. Like you take a sec, you go watch the coffee time, you come back and do that. In case you haven't seen the pendulum summons, basically it allows you special like crazy, and it becomes easier to bring this out. And then this goes like Direwolf, and it's like boop, poppy, boop, poppy, boop. But you got to remember, the field card has to be on the board. You also get the draw from her when field card's activated. So if you're playing a field card in the deck that can support this, it's definitely one to support it with Ancient Fairy Dragon. Those two go so good together. It's not even funny. But again, the artwork is just gorgeous on this one. Again, probably like 5 to 12 range at most. We'll see it once the stock market video is out, which should be prior to this one. Then we have Junk Puppet. This one is the Gimmick Puppets Monster Reborn. So again, if you're not playing Gimmick Puppets, you can just trade it off. You're not going to lose any sleep on that. Same with this card is Chromalees. You're not playing Chromalees, you're not really going to be able to use it. That's on the wrong way. Here's Utopia Buster. If you control Utopia, you destroy one face-up monster your controls, the lowest attack, and then you inflict damage. But again, if you're not like really playing that ZW Utopia deck, and even then, I don't know if you would be really running this. This is probably gonna be the cheapest card in the entire set. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And then we have Chromley. Gordian Knots. I'm trying to believe that say that right. When this card is normal summon, you special one Chromely monster from your hand. If you do, that card's level becomes the current level of the special summon monster. If you're playing Chromeleys, this guy's pretty good until we get to the new support that Japan has for them. The OCG exclusives probably won't get to the end of the year. Again, Humpty Dumpty goes along with the gimmick puppets, so if you're not playing the arch type, it's pretty much a skip. Shadow Feeler is the same thing, and he's basically the human centipede. If you've ever seen that movie, welcome to the Fear Club, because that thing is just it's such a disgusting thing. But no, this card is not going to support any deck outside of gimmick puppets. I'm sorry, that's just how I see it. I may be wrong about that, but pretty much gimmick puppets, and that's the way to go with him. And then we have Silent Wobby, and what a name for this fish. During your main phase, you can special this card from your hand to your opponent's side of the field, and when summoned this way, draw one card, and if you do, your opponent gains 2,000 life points. You can use the effect of Silent Wobby once per turn. The hand size limit of this card's controller becomes 3. Let me say something about this card. I don't think that it's extremely good. It's a funny counter against certain decks, but with all the exceeds and synchros and pendulums adding on to all that, I don't see this card being very, very highly sought out after or used. I mean, I could see some kind of like nurse burn using this for a quick 2,000 burn, making the hand size limit 3, and forcing the opponent to set stuff on the board that they may not want to, and then, I don't know, out of nowhere flipping like Secret Barrel or something. But otherwise than that, I can't really see this card going for much more than like $2, honestly. Then we have this guy here, which I can't even pronounce the name because that is one weird name. And you can special this card from your hand. You can only special one of these per turn. When this card is special this way, your opponent it can target one level 4 monster in either player's graveyard. They special that card to their side of the field. I don't really care for this guy. Underwhelming, underwhelming very, very much. Gives your opponent a monster. So there's no real gain except that you get to special. It's like a reverse Max C, except that they get a monster on the board. Again, probably gonna be like $2.56, somewhere around that price range. It's not gonna be really sought out after. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could say more. This one is one of the best cards in the set, especially if you're playing anything that has 2 zombies in it. And you're probably going, Ryu, if you've never seen this card, what are you talking about? It's a dragon. I know. But to fusion summon it, it takes 2 zombie monsters, meaning that any zombie deck can now just easily splash in. Say with me here, you play Dragon's Mirror in your zombie deck, and you're sitting there with a face looking at my screen, at your screen, at my video, like, what the hell is he talking about? This is a dragon fusion monster that is brought out by 2 zombie monsters, meaning that if you play Dragon's Mirror, you don't need dragons to banish. You need the fusion to be dragon to bring out. Let's just make sure that's clear, because I know probably when I upload this, either it's like middle of the day or early in the day, whatever. I want to make sure that's clear that this thing just literally sits there and goes, I'm best friends with zombies. Play 3 Dragon's Mirror, free 3,000 beat stick that constantly, it has 0 defense and stuff. It just freaking hilarious. This opens the gateway for Felgran to be played in zombies if you have the room in the extra deck, which I believe you wouldn't, but still. If you get this card, hold on to it. And there's a reason I'm saying hold on to it. I believe that this will give zombies a push to possibly top a YCS. Possibly. I don't want to go out on a length and say, yeah, they're definitely going to do it. But if you pull this is one of those ones that is what I call a wild card. It can go anywhere in price. So if it doesn't go up in price, you've lost nothing because it's not going to. It'll stay at a normal center price, say, I don't know, around $8 to $15. If, say, zombies top the YCS, then you're probably looking at $20-25. So there's a big difference there, and this is one that you definitely want to look out for. And we don't know what it's going to do kind of situation, but this is a great card from the set. If you pull it, hang on to it for a little while if you're not playing zombies. If you are playing zombies, definitely pick them up. Pick them up, pick up Dragon's Mirror, and have some funny plays with that shit. Ah, I love this card. Beelzel of the Diabolic Dragons. Infernities, Chaos Dragons, anything that has a Dark Tuner called Plague Spreader, and a monster called Malicious. Even heroes can bring this out. Now, if you are subscribed to Asian Eyes, he loves this card and he abuses it. So I still will talk about it for the people that may not be subscribed to him, but should be, because he's a great Yu-Gi tour. Yes, I just shout out someone that probably will never shout me out, but that's not the point. The point is I'm making relevance to this card. So basically, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So how do we stop this? Fiendish Chain, Compulse, Vulcan the Divine. Like I said before, Vulcan the Divine is extremely good, especially against cards like this. Even Orient Dragon laughs at this guy. I'm sorry, like Orient Dragon is now good again if this rises up in popularity. This card currently, from what I saw from pre-orders, is going around 20. So probably looking after the 2-week date, 15 to 20 tops. I do think at a later date this may rise up in price. I don't feel like anything Gold Series is going to go higher than 20. The only two possible cards is the one prior to this one, BLZ here. They're both amazing cards. BLZ can literally shut down your opponent. You can actually use this in the Gusto deck like I showed in one video. If you need a link, you just ask and it's down there. If you need a link, I'll put it down there for you. When you take damage from an attack involving this card, so Forbidden Lance is God tier with this, because it can't be destroyed by battle, or from an opponent's card effect, this card gains attack equal to the damage. So my opponent attacks it with 3,000 point monster, 31, whatever. Like, I don't know why he's attacking. He's just attacking it, or activates a trap card. And I'm attacking his monster. I flip up Lance, and then it gains more attack points than the damage I would have suffered, and the damage I do suffer from that battle. So not only does he get stronger, but he still has a protection, and this plus Forbidden Lance is stupid. So if you get it, he's big trade bait. Not super hyped, but definitely one of the better cards in this set. Definitely. If you're not looking at the reprints, definitely one of the better cards in the set. Then we have one of the most oddest cards is Black Feather Dark Rage Dragon. I wish I was joking about that name. This is the manga version of Black Winged Dragon. This one's actually pretty okay. Basically, when you take damage from attack or card effect, you can send the top 5 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then any monster sent by that card effect, this card gains 400. How can I explain where to use this? Light Swords don't need it, but they can run it. And it sounds kind of weird for me to say. It's like Lumina, and then Plague Spreader can make this. And then Zephyrus the Elite bounce, or just ram a monster, mill 5 if you really want that speed, I guess. But by the time you have 2 Lumina, set up, most of the time you're pretty much in a good situation that you don't need to be printing this guy out to overextend. So, again, this is one of those cards that I'm like, you're not really going to be caring too much about, because it's like, I can't really abuse him. I mean, someone out there will find a way to abuse him, but he's just not abusable enough yet. And then we have Chaos number 6. I despise this card. Not because of the effect, it's not good. I'm sorry. I wish it was, but this is just for the numbers hunters. If you're looking, for your collection, that's pretty much what you're going to be getting. He's going to be cheap. Here we have number 15, Chaos 15. And again, unless you're playing gimmick puppets or you're just collecting numbers, you're not going to really be interested in this card, so there's not really too much to say. I'm sorry if someone's playing gimmick puppets, you're not talking about gimmick puppets, right? The reason I don't is because I don't know enough about them, or I feel like they're not strong enough because they're kind of forced every time to go into their own exceeds, and that's not always a good thing. This is Chaos number 40 because they're kind of easy to beat up, not so that way. So pretty much we don't have an English printout yet. If you're interested in the numbers or just gimmick puppets, this is for you. If not, no. Same thing here, but that artwork, man, it looks hilarious. So this is just Chaos number 88, and this is the one that basically will allow you to win the game. The effects there, if anyone wants to read it, that's not where you just pause the video. I don't really think this one's going to go for much either. It's going to be one of those cards, you get stuck with. This is Chaos Dylan Spear. This is a rank 10, I believe. Yep, okay. And again, one of those ones that you're not really going to be too concerned about. If you pull it for the set, it's going to be $5 tops on eBay. So Numbers Hunters, you love this. This guy is actually pretty good with, I believe, this guy here. These two go together. And if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! For Real, man, he had that, I think it was Ghost Trick lot a little while back. And there's not really much more I can say about that because I don't really play around with these two. but they finally made their way into the set. So these two, possibly $5 to $8 a piece. I don't think they're gonna go for that high. I'm just saying because they're good rank ones. They're really good rank ones. They work awesome together, and that's pretty much the only reason why. I guess Ghost Tricks can actually run it. So if you're playing Ghost Tricks, these two are good for you. But just check them out and then go from there. This is number 82, Heartland Draco. I had to make sure I was saying that right. And it's probably one of the cutest things. I was like sitting down preparing this, and my daughter like got up and she's like, "I'm getting a Draco. What the is that?" I'm like, "It's a card," and she's like, "It's adorable." I'm like, oh god. So my first thing when I saw this thing was a really cutesy version of Yu-Gi-Oh monster that should never exist because if I pull this, she's got dibs on it already. So this is kind of one of those ones I was gonna make a joke, be like, "Give it to your little sister," but I'm not gonna do that. We're actually gonna look at it. While you control a face-up spell card, this card cannot be targeted for attacks. Once per turn, you can detach one exceed from this card. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. Why are you doing this to me? From this card, this turn, this card can attack your opponent directly, but other monsters can't attack. It's got a 2,000 attack. I guess if you feel like Burn the Mighty, you can constantly attack directly. But not really constantly. It gets like 2 attacks, and it's like 4,000 damage. It's not bad. It's a pretty good. It's a pretty good card. But it's pretty much for those decks that are not going to be used very much. It'll probably $3 at most, which makes it good for me because my daughter wants one, and we're forced to get it for her. Oh my god, this thing! I love this thing. Okay, I'm a big fan of artwork. The artwork on this looks crazy. I love it. This is try edge Levier. Banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card. Once returned during either player's turn, you can detach one exceed from this card, target one face-up monster in the field. It loses 800 attack and its effects are negated. The effects last until the end of the turn. Him being at 1800 and an 800 drop, this plus like Burn of the Mighty kind of thing, if you can actually give up 3 level 3s, is pretty funny stuff. I don't see a deck really using it. I may be wrong again. I just don't see it being played heavily. So definitely one that's not going to be too expensive. There's not really too much in this set that's going to be expensive. There's the rank up card. Most people already know that rank up card. He's probably played Undead Pro. There's the effect. In case you don't know, you just pause the video right now and read it from there. That's just not. It's not laziness. It's just I got a stock market video still in the film, and it's going to be crazed. This is the Gagaga Academy. So if you're playing Gagagas, you got your Gagaga Academy. Otherwise, you just don't really. It's kind of one of those skip cards on that way. And this is one that we talked about pretty early on with the reveals of Gold Series. This is Ghost of a Grudge, and this one honestly is going to be a hell of a tech card. And props to the guy who told me, "Hey, I'm going to use this in GBs." I was like, "Oh my god, how did I not see that one?" Oh. Like, GBs would love this because it drops your opponent's monsters to 0 and they're stuck at 0. I feel like this can actually lead to a lot of OTKs, especially in a format where, traps are so important and we don't have Heavy Storm to clear out the back row as much. So, pretty much how I see this being played out is they play the Ghost of the Grudge, they play the Trap Stun, and they OTK you. I could actually see that being done in something like Gyurgia Karakuri, or Karakuri Gyurgia, however you want to phrase that part. I could actually see it being used for swapping in GBs, constant dropping a 0 and constant, no monster effect and constant power boosting. It sounds annoying, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of is. But, that's pretty much the whole set. A little roundup there for you. If you like what you saw, please take a second, leave a like, a comment, subscribe for more. I'm Ryu with the TheYugiohCouncil. I got a stock market video watch to do, and I'm extremely tired. It's almost 6 in the morning. But thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get this out as fast as I can. Thanks. Peace.